Well, good afternoon. So, in this one, I'm going to focus on intractable relationship problems. When people have been in a relationship for a long time, it can often reach a point where the problems between the two of them become so overwhelming, it feels like, what on earth do we do about it? And so what I've got here is I've got these two rock islands to the left and the right of the screen, as you can see. What I want you to imagine is each rock island represents a delicious pile of hay, because for the sake of this journey we're going on, I want you to imagine between these two rock islands there's a couple of donkeys. Now, donkeys love to eat fresh hay, and these two donkeys are actually joined together. They're tied together with rope, rather in the same way as when people are in a long-term relationship, there's that strong connection between the two of them. And what can happen in relationships is we go through a phase which is a battle of power, and this can happen early on, but it can continue a long way into the relationship. So these two donkeys are situated in the middle between these two big piles of hay that you can see to the left and the right. And what these donkeys are doing is they're facing away from each other. And this one donkey can see the pile of hay on the left, the other donkey can see the pile of hay on the right. And they're renowned for being stubborn. Well, that can very much apply to people in long-term relationships. So the donkey on the left is stubbornly pulling as hard as it can to move towards the pile of hay on the left. And it doesn't care that there's a donkey pulling in the opposite direction. All it can see is a pile of hay in front of it, and it just wants to get there, and it wants to get there now, and to hell with anything else. Meanwhile, of course, the donkey on the right side is seeing that pile of hay towards the right, and it's pulling just as vigorously, urgently and desperately trying to reach that pile of hay on the right side. And this really is an allegory for what can happen to people in long-term relationships when they get so stuck in their ways and their opinions and their views on things. And so both donkeys are pulling very, very hard against each other. And of course, you can imagine what happens. You get a stalemate, and the donkeys get tired, they get exhausted, and they can see that pile of hay and they just can't get any closer to it, and they get desperate, and it feels like they just want to throw in the towel and not even be alive anymore. And what needs to happen is there needs to be an aha moment, a moment of enlightenment, when suddenly both the donkeys realise they are not getting their way, and they will continue not to get their way as long as they apply the same principle to their lives, which is my way at all costs. And so when the aha moment, the light bulb moment hits these two donkeys, suddenly they stop pulling and they turn around and they're facing the opposite direction, and they suddenly see each other. And now that they see each other, they can see that there are two bales of hay, two piles of hay. And so now the donkeys work with what is called intelligent cooperation, and they both trot over the pile of hay on the left and devour that until they're satisfied. And then after that they trot over the pile of hay on the right and they devour that until they're satisfied. And they then lie down in great contentment and have a good old snooze. So this really is my illustration for what to do when faced with intractable relationship problems. There needs to come the moment of surrender, the moment of realising that so long as I'm just trying to get my way, there's going to be no resolution. I need to be aware of the other one pulling in the opposite direction. We both need to just stop, turn around and face each other and see what was there that we'd almost forgotten about all this time. That's right, we love each other, we admire each other, we think each other is great. And then with intelligent cooperation, you can choose to go in the same direction and tackle your problems one at a time until they are resolved and you're able to go on and enjoy your life, have a good snooze. Okay, thank you very much.